Local pros. For every pro, you can read customer reviews. And for everybody's busy schedule, you can book appointments online. For every project, you have HomeAdvisor. Go to HomeAdvisor.com.
I lost this much weight on Jenny Craig.
Lose up to 16 pounds in 4 weeks with rapid results. Eat 6 times a day with no prepping or cooking. Lose 16 pounds for $16 plus the cost of food and get $120 in free food.
Elizabeth Warren will be the first. She did very badly in proving that she was of Indian heritage. That didn't work out too well. You know, we'll see how she does. I wish her well. I hope she does well. I'd love to run against her.
She says she's in the fight all the way, Mr. President. Do you really think she believes she can win?
Well, that I don't know. You'd have to ask her psychiatrist.
Oh, gosh. Wow. The president taking a dig at Senator Elizabeth Warren as the Massachusetts Democrat is set to tour 4 Iowa cities this weekend. Her first trip to the early caucus state since launching her 2020 exploratory committee on Monday. Meanwhile, a lot of reaction to a Politico piece asking if Warren can avoid a repeat of Hillary Clinton, especially on the issue of likability. Some people are going after the piece as sexist, asking why male candidates are not held to the same kind of test. CNN commentator Joan Walsh tweeted this: "How dare you, Politico? I am not endorsing anyone for a long time, but you make me want to get into Elizabeth Warren's corner fast. This is so offensive." And actor George Takei weighing in, quote, from Star Trek, right? People already comparing Elizabeth Warren to Hillary Clinton and asking how she avoids her fate. Funny, no one is comparing Biden or Sanders to failed nominees Mondale, Dukakis, or Kerry. I wonder why that is. Why is that?
He makes a good point. I think they have more standards when they run than men do. I think that's just a fact. Women have to think about how they look, how their hair.
No, we don't. No, actually, we don't have to think about it. Everybody else is thinking about it.
Exactly. So, but if you're running for office and everybody's thinking about it, then you start to think about that, and you think about, what do I do differently to appeal to these people? How do I make myself more likable? Whereas in male candidates, don't have to do as much work.
So is alcohol the answer? Take a look at this from Elizabeth Warren.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer.
Enjoy your beer.
I want to start 2019 in this fight and fighting for what I believe in.
All right, so you heard the male voice in the background there, right? And somebody tell me, why beer? Why that beverage? Is that to appeal to like male voters? I'm just wondering, because she's playing the gender card, but I'm confused.
Right? Oh, she's trying to be like, hello, Earthlings, I'm just like you. She's trying to be relatable, and I feel like if you're trying to be relatable, you're not relatable. And I also, a couple of things drive me nuts about Elizabeth Warren, and also when people trying to pull this is misogynistic to compare her to Hillary Clinton and that whole thing. So, one, Elizabeth Warren, when she tweeted out that she was going to form this exploratory committee, said that, I want everyone to play by the same rules. Well, you didn't, because you cheated and you lied about your heritage to get ahead in your life. So you're a cheater and you're a liar. Two, for Neera Tandem, this is the thing that drives me nuts about leftist women, because it's not misogynistic to think Hillary Clinton was a terrible candidate and is a loathsome human being. It's not misogynistic to think Elizabeth Warren is a terrible candidate and a terrible human being. Those things are true. So it drives me nuts when these left-wing women...
Wait.
No, it's not misogynistic to think they're terrible.
It's your opinion that Hillary Clinton...
But that's not misogynistic. They're just terrible.
But that's not a fact, and that's not true that they're loathsome. They're not loathsome people. I think...
Obama had made a...
Excuse me. If you talk to people, if you talk to the firefighters in 9/11 who Hillary Clinton fought for them to get health insurance because they were dying because of what happened to them in Ground Zero, they wouldn't say she's loathsome.
Is it fair to say
that's somebody's opinion?
Also,
she didn't do as well as she could have done. Of course, I feel the same way. But let's be very clear.
It's beyond my opinion, Richard. It's beyond my opinion, because remember, during the New Hampshire...
Loathsome is an adjective that suggests opinion.
During the New Hampshire Democrat primary debate, her likability was brought up by the debate moderator, and President Obama did that infamous quip where he said she's likable enough. Also, people like
he also said that she needed new car smell, or the nation did.
David Axelrod is also brought up her lack of likability.
Because when you hear some of the advocates for Elizabeth Warren, and I read some of that in the intro and shared that with you guys in the audience, when you hear them say that likability quotient is something that we look more about women than we do about men, what do you make of that, Jillian?
I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily fair that we look
look at that more women than we do men. I will say, I think because there are fewer women in general in a race like this, I think that we pay closer to attention to it. So I think that that might be a bit of it. But I just think that seeing that video of her, like, let me go grab a beer, or what was her exact terminology? Let me go grab me a beer. I think that was exactly it.
Yeah.
I think it seems staged to me. I mean, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe that's harsh, but if you're trying to be relatable, trying too hard is not going to get there.
Well, one thing is certain, that the race for the Democratic nomination will be the campaign of awkward moments, because she's just the first, and you're going to have individuals who are not natural, like I said about Mitt Romney, retail politicians who can look at someone dead in the eye, like a Bill Clinton, or even to some extent President Trump, and look at him and relate to that person. It's the hot sauce moment from Hillary Clinton's campaign, where she's trying to connect with an audience in a very staged sort of way. So I can't wait, because Joe Biden, if he gets in this race, he is Mr. Gaff with the hugs and the things like that. So
yeah, but he's very likable.
He's very likable.
And you know, and I point that out because we've had this discussion before about men. So I don't really know that we don't have it about women. That's why I was asking that.
But Harris,
some of these advocates for Warren are saying, oh, we only have that when it comes to women. But we've talked about likability.
Well, and I said Monday on this show, I think the men who are running for the Democratic nomination will be at a disadvantage, because they're going to get pushed by the women.
Also, for the record, I find Beto O'Rourke just as bad as Elizabeth Warren. I also find him.
We know you don't like Democrats, but I mean, from a similar perspective, the whole notion always has been, I vote for the person I like to have a beer with. She decided to have a beer and have an Instagram live.
Oh, is that what that was about?
That's what she decided to have an Instagram live conversation with people. Her supporters probably liked it. It worked for them. And remember, she's talking
then why wasn't she actually having a beer with somebody?
She's talking to the Democratic base, and she's trying to convince them that she's the best person to run against Donald Trump.
I want you to fact check my numbers, because I think it's north of 80% that Elizabeth Warren has in polling recognizability, and shallow, less than 20% of likability. Does that sound about right? I think it's exactly like 85 and 16.
And I think that's why she's trying to be more relatable. I think she's just trying to get people to...
That's a big deficit. When a lot of people know you, that's a Hillary Clinton problem. A lot of people know you, they just don't like you. How do you fix it?
Well, and a friend of mine who's a big old Democrat, he reposted that Instagram Live with a GIF of Judge Judy going, rolling her eyes. So that was his reaction.
But I mean, I think it appeals to union households. I think it appeals to the middle south of the country, where Democrats have to win. People like beer.
No, also it's completely objective to say Hillary, beer, but I didn't like that. But it's
she was talking to a certain group of people.
You had to explain it to me.
It's completely objective to say Hillary
Clinton. And when you're explaining, you're not winning.
We're not talking about Hillary Clinton. We're talking about Elizabeth Warren.
It's also completely objective to say Elizabeth Warren, who thought it was a good idea to make an announcement that she's less Native American than the average white person.
I wish I were turning to something that was actually not going to ignite a fight, but this might also. The stock market, falling flat. It's having some trouble, although it did touch a little bit of green today. The start of trading in 2019, oh boy, global economy is feeling the pressure as China sees a slowdown in manufacturing and keeps up its trade dispute with the United States. What will that mean for Wall Street? And there's a lot more going on. Dagan says it's not just all about China.
Oh,